Now, I understood that, well, Acorn came riding to the rescue to counter the threat of the right-wing extremists, and there were tussles and fights and people being thrown out, and it turned it into a political morass. But initially, I am here to tell you, folks, I have this on good authority, that none of these initial town hall meetings with such as the Honorable Senator Arlen Specter, that what you saw was the real deal. This was not some front person for an organization or a foundation just getting in there to sully the exchange between our vaunted political leaders and the the general public out there. That was real. It's not anymore. It's been politicized. It's like everything else, like the Tea Parties and everything else grassroots America is doing out there. It's being infiltrated by people, and everything is all going asunder. But people are mad, Bob. And
they certainly are. And, I'll tell you, we've been talking over the last few months about the bitter reaction to, and it's growing, the mandatory dispensement of swine flu shots. We talked about the possibility of a bank holiday, and that, of course, was a guess. And we've talked about the fall in the dollar between now and the end of the year, and more nearly before the end of October. And what I think is happening here is the administration and Congress is starting to go on the run. The president's approval rating is about 44 via Rasmussen. It's 12 for Congress. The health care, euthanasia care, is in serious, serious trouble and may never become any kind of a law. And cap and trade is running into trouble in the Senate. Plus, the people are looking at these horrendous bailouts of banking, Wall Street and finance, assurance companies, and they're also looking at $23.7 trillion and money gone down the toilet or will go down the toilet, and that's by the Investigator General of the government. And so I think they're going to back off. I think they're scared. I think they've totally lost momentum, and it's because of what you're talking about, and that is the grassroots people are starting to tear them apart politically and sociologically.
Well, and I had Reverend Ted Pike. What they did, the Reverend's been hot on the hate crime bill that was attached to the military appropriations. Congress, they just love voting for this stuff. Democrats are all against the wars, but they're there for the funding. So they slid the the hate crimes legislation and attached that to the military appropriations bill. And I had the Reverend on yesterday, and I kind of asked the question. He wanted people to show up. The Family Council had the list of all the town hall meetings and show up and go against the hate crime legislation. I said, look, I don't know if you want to do this. If you want to prove to them that what they were first accusing the good people of this country, and there were Democrats and Republicans and independents and people that never voted before that were showing up at these town halls. I said, I don't know if you want to politicize this to this point to make them prove to them that they were correct. In other words, and the whole deal here is this thing might blow up in the Congress because the Obama said that, well, wait a minute, I don't want a $2 billion appropriations. They came out with this fancy new short takeoff and landing jet. And, the Marines want 1,300 of them, and the Navy wants 800. Well, the deal has already been struck. They were actually asking for more money for spare engines. So Obama said that he's going to reject it, and if the hate crimes legislation is attached to it, it might blow the whole thing up in Congress. And I made the observation. I said, look, you're a man of the cloth. If we're going to be talking about jet aircraft that are designed to do one thing, blow the kingdom come out of supposed enemies, and then you're going to argue that, for engines or whatever, I said, do you want to really be attached to that? I'm sure that's not what Jesus would do, if you get my meaning. At any rate, Jack in Kansas. Thanks for holding, Jack. Hello, Jack. I hear the birds.
Hi, Jack.
John, are you referring to me? This is Michael in New York.
Oh, somebody punched the wrong button.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
I've got birds around here, so I figured it was me.
Okay. I didn't know
Hey,
pigeons tweeted. Isn't that what they have in New York?
What's that, John?
I said I thought pigeons didn't tweet.
Yeah, these are a bunch of sparrows, actually, here in the background.
Oh, cool. All right.
But, gentlemen, enjoying the show, and thanks always for all that you do for our country, and I do appreciate that. And the town hall meeting rallies, the people, it's a great sign, and hopefully it'll continue. John, regarding your comment a while back as to with the other caller and what to do, what do we go revert to for a system? And it's simple, the old American way, like you said, we need competition.
Yep.
Sure, when it's a real serious injury, you need an operation, you need to go to the hospital, that's fine for that kind of coverage. But otherwise, so much of it's just preventative as well. Mm-hmm. And the American people have to realize that they're their own worst enemy most often, and people generally don't get, they don't die, they just kill themselves through their mouth. And so it's like for me, for example, if I were to get ill, I'd kick myself right in the behind and say, "You idiot! You know how not to get sick because I never get sick." And so if I were to break the rules, knowing I would eventually get sick by breaking certain natural rules, then I would just blame it on myself. I won't go to my neighbor or you guys and say, "Hey guys, I need some money to see a doctor because I'm real ill."
That's right. Well, and the best analogy that I came up with. Michael, have you ever driven a car in New York? Are you in New York City?
No, I'm about 70 miles north of it.
Okay, you've been around congestion and traffic and the freeways and all that stuff. Okay, when you let your insurance lapse on your car, that if you get in an accident, and now we have this, self-pay system, that's right, that if you wreck your car, you lose. Aren't you a little bit more careful with your car until you get the insurance back on it?
No question in that, John. Absolutely.
Yeah, hang on a second. We got to take a break. 800-313-9443. 40 minutes left in the show. Don't wait. I hope you people appreciate Bob has lower intestine flu down there, and he barely made it through the first hour. So I hope you folks appreciate that this man, the trooper that he is still on the air with us. Bob, my hat's off to you.
Well, thank you very much. And I feel very relieved on that little break I had to take.
Okay.
These things happen, and happen to me maybe once or twice a year like everybody else. And even though you do all the right things, you still pick things up.
Well, didn't they tell you not to drink the water?
Well, it's not that.
Oh.
I don't drink the water.
Okay. At any rate, Michael in New York, I'm going to have some people on, and the debate is going to be endless here, but here's the bottom line. Get the government, the lawyers, the insurance companies out of this. Medicare, Medicaid also jacked up the cost of this. Government-run programs. Gee, how's that working out for people? Not so good. Any time that you have to pay $700, $900 or $1,000 for just a bed in a hospital to park your sick butt in, there's a problem. And when you get the specialists and the surgeons and the doctors in there for the treatment, I mean, it just goes, it's astronomical. But these people didn't have a problem charging that because they charged it to whom? Not the individual that actually had to pay it directly. They charged it to the insurance companies. So,
that's absolutely right, John. That's precisely how it is. And in addition, we have to bear in mind that the devaluing of the dollar, the inflationary rise of the cost of living, and so the government again is the cause of the high cost of health care because they're allowing the Federal Reserve to shaft us.
Well, and there again, going back to my statement of baseline problems, Houston, we got major problems here. We have major problems in the economic standing of this country. Look at the funny money we've been using. I'm fascinated, Robbie, that I'm looking at this. And Bob, you said that, look, this is going to come in 3 phases. Okay, we've seen the derivatives bubble pop. I mean, it was the .com, and that kind of got everybody kind of warmed up a little bit. Well, kind of, sort of. Then we had the derivatives blowout, followed by the real estate, yet to come in full force, the tsunami of the real estate bubble that is getting ready to pop big time. And I think, if I remember correctly, isn't it you said we'll wait to the third phase, the third wave on this tsunami, which is going to be the Mac Daddy. See, we're kind of in the eye of the hurricane. And it's still pretty calm, still going down, but nobody's in a sheer panic. Well, the other side of that wall to that hurricane is really where you hit the gale winds full force. And, Bob, isn't it going to be the hyperinflationary problem that we're going to run into in that third phase?